Napheesa Collier, star forward for the New York Liberty, has dropped a bombshell on the WNBA. She's calling for a boycott. Her target? Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Collier's beef? The WNBA's 2025 TV schedule. She claims it's heavily skewed towards Clark and the Fever. This, she argues, is a disservice to other teams and players, especially the defending champions, her very own New York Liberty. Collier's call to action has sent shockwaves through the league. Fans are divided, players are whispering. Is this a legitimate grievance, or is Collier just being a sore loser? One thing's for sure, this controversy isn't going away anytime soon. Collier's frustration is palpable. She sees the league's scheduling as a blatant disregard for the accomplishments of other teams. The New York Liberty, after all, are the reigning champions. Yet they find themselves overshadowed by the hype surrounding Caitlin Clark. Is this fair? Is this what the WNBA should stand for? Collier's boycott call is a desperate plea for attention, a cry for recognition of the hard work and dedication of all WNBA players. The boycott call is a bold move. It's a gamble. Will it pay off? Will it force the WNBA to rethink its priorities? Or will it backfire, painting Collier as a disgruntled player unwilling to share the spotlight? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain, Napheesa Collier has ignited a firestorm. Collier's boycott call has been met with mixed reactions. Some applaud her for speaking truth to power, for challenging the status quo. Others, however, have criticized her stance. They argue that she's ignoring the business realities of professional sports. TV networks, they say, are driven by viewership. And right now, Caitlin Clark is a ratings magnet. Critics point out that Clark's popularity translates into increased viewership for the entire league. This in turn leads to higher revenue, which ultimately benefits all players. By calling for a boycott of Clark's games, Collier, they argue, is hurting the very league she claims to champion. The backlash against Collier has been swift and fierce. Social media is abuzz with debates about fairness, viewership, and the future of the WNBA. Some fans have accused Collier of being jealous of Clark's popularity. Others have defended her, arguing that she's simply standing up for what she believes in. The controversy has sparked a larger conversation about the role of star power in women's sports. Should the WNBA prioritize established veterans like Collier, or should they capitalize on the excitement generated by rising stars like Clark? It's a delicate balancing act, one that the league must navigate carefully. Napheesa Collier didn't hold back during her appearance on ESPN's. She directly addressed the elephant in the room, the glaring disparity in nationally televised games between the Indiana Fever and other teams. With a mix of frustration and disbelief, she pointed out that the Fever, led by Caitlin Clark, were scheduled for a whopping 40 nationally televised games. 40 games! Collier exclaimed, her voice laced with incredulity. Meanwhile, the New York Liberty, the defending champions, only have 32 nationally televised games. The Las Vegas Aces, another powerhouse team, have 33. How does that make any sense? Collier's comments ignited a firestorm on social media. Fans and analysts alike weighed in on the debate. Some argued that the disparity was justified, citing Clark's undeniable star power and her ability to draw in viewers. Others, however, echoed Collier's concerns, expressing their disappointment with the league's seeming prioritization of one player over entire teams. The segment brought the issue to the forefront of the national conversation. It forced the WNBA to address the controversy head-on, and it left no doubt that Napheesa Collier was not backing down from her stance. Collier's critics argue that she's missing a crucial point. The WNBA, like any other professional sports league, is a business, and in the business of basketball, viewership is king. TV networks pay top dollar for the rights to broadcast games. They're not in the business of charity, they want to maximize their return on investment. And that means showing the games that people want to watch. Caitlin Clark, with her dazzling skills and electrifying playing style, is a ratings bonanza. Fans flock to see her play. Her jersey is flying off the shelves. She's the most talked about player in the league, and that translates into big bucks for the WNBA and its broadcast partners. The reality is that there are only so many slots available for nationally televised games. Networks have to make tough choices, and those choices are driven by data, by analytics, by cold, hard numbers. Right now, those numbers point to Caitlin Clark. Collier's frustration is understandable. She's a fierce competitor, a champion who wants to showcase her talents on the biggest stage. But the WNBA's decision to prioritize Clark's games is not personal, it's business. Section 5. The Michael Jordan Effect, Caitlin Clark, the new superstar. Stephen A. Smith, never one to shy away from a bold comparison, sees parallels between Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise and Michael Jordan's impact on the NBA. "This is what happens when you have a transcendent talent," Smith proclaimed on. "Michael Jordan single-handedly changed the game. He brought in a whole new audience, and the NBA rode that wave to unprecedented heights. Clark, like Jordan, possesses that rare combination of skill, charisma, and marketability. She's a once-in-a-generation player who has captured the imagination of fans worldwide. Her dazzling performances are must-see TV, and that's something the WNBA can't afford to ignore. The WNBA would be foolish not to capitalize on Clark's popularity," Smith argued. "This is their chance to break through to a wider audience, to grow the game, to secure the future of the league." Smith's comparison, while perhaps a tad premature, highlights the potential impact Clark could have on the WNBA. She has the ability to transcend the sport, to become a global icon, and that's something that benefits everyone involved. Section 6. Old Guard versus New Blood Tension in the WNBA Ranks. Collier's boycott call has exposed a simmering tension within the WNBA, the old guard versus the new blood. Established stars like Collier, who have dedicated years to building the league, are now facing a new reality. A reality where a young, charismatic player like Clark can command the spotlight, even overshadowing their accomplishments. This tension is not unique to the WNBA. It's a dynamic that plays out in every professional sports league. As new stars emerge, they inevitably challenge the established order. They disrupt the hierarchy. They force everyone to raise their game. For some veterans, this can be a bitter pill to swallow. They've paid their dues, they've earned their stripes, and now they're being asked to share the stage, to cede some of their hard-won recognition. The challenge for the WNBA is to find a way to bridge this divide, to create an environment where both established stars and rising talents feel valued and respected. It's a delicate balancing act, one that requires sensitivity, communication, and a shared vision for the future of the league. Section 7. Money talks. Networks chase viewers, not favors. Let's be clear. TV networks are not in the business of playing favorites. They're not choosing to showcase Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever out of some sense of altruism or personal preference. Their decisions are driven by one thing and one thing only: money. Viewership equals revenue. It's as simple as that. The more viewers a game attracts, the more valuable it becomes to advertisers. And the more advertisers are willing to pay, the more money the network makes. The WNBA, like any other sports league, relies heavily on television contracts to generate revenue. These contracts are negotiated based on projected viewership numbers. And right now, Caitlin Clark is projected to draw in a massive audience. So, when Napheesa Collier accuses the WNBA of playing favorites, she's missing the mark. This isn't about favoritism, it's about capitalism. It's about the cold, hard realities of the entertainment industry. Section 8. Capitalism on the Court. The business of entertainment. The controversy surrounding the WNBA's TV schedule is a microcosm of a larger issue: the intersection of sports and capitalism. Professional sports, at its core, is a business. It's about generating revenue, maximizing profits, and building brands. TV networks, sponsors, and team owners are all vying for a piece of the pie. And in this cutthroat environment, sentimentality takes a backseat to the bottom line. Caitlin Clark, with her electrifying playing style and undeniable star power, represents a golden opportunity for the WNBA to increase its visibility, attract new fans, and boost its bottom line. And in the world of professional sports, those opportunities are not to be squandered. Napheesa Collier's frustration is understandable. She's a fierce competitor who wants to showcase her talents on the biggest stage, but the reality is that the WNBA, like any other business, must adapt to the changing market forces, and right now those forces are pointing towards Caitlin Clark. Section 9. Embrace the wave or swim against the tide? The players decide. The WNBA finds itself at a crossroads. Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise has presented the league with both a challenge and an opportunity. The challenge is to find a way to balance the interests of established stars like Napheesa Collier with the need to capitalize on Clark's popularity. The opportunity is to ride the wave of Clark's stardom to new heights, to attract a wider audience, and to secure the future of the league. The players themselves face a choice: embrace the change or resist it. They can choose to see Clark's popularity as a threat, a challenge to their own status and visibility. Or they can choose to see it as an opportunity, a chance to grow the game they love, and to elevate the WNBA to new heights. Ultimately, the future of the WNBA rests on the shoulders of its players. Will they choose unity or division? Will they embrace the future or cling to the past? The decisions they make today will shape the league for years to come. One thing is certain, the world is watching, eager to see what direction the WNBA will choose.